Welcome everyone. Incident command system is what we will be talking about it in today's video. Remember, incident out here is only the disaster that we are talking about. Incident out here is only the emergency that we are talking about. Remember, disasters or incident or emergencies can be natural, can be man-made. So what and how do we deal with those incidents? Something very simple. We'll talk about the incident command system, ICS, or unified command system of an organization. Understand the terminologies thereby. When we talk about, I have already stated about the incident command system or the unified command system, as the case might be, in terms of everything. Remember, incident command system is just a tool to command. See that everything is working in sync with each other's, in coordination. All the resources have been utilized optimally, may be used for anything and everything, emergent or non-emergent incident, man-made or natural. Management tools consist of procedure for organizing personnel, facilities, equipment, communications at the scene of an emergency. Has a flexible design that allows for many jurisdictions and many agencies, as the case might be. Application can be used for any incident. Emergent is fire, hazmat, hazardous material. Short form of hazmat is hazardous. Any chemical materials, any materials that is infringing on the deaths and the livelihood of people. Act of terrorism, natural disaster. Non-emergents are parade, sporting event, political rally, and we can plan it. So one thing is planned event and unplanned event. So non-emergent would be planned event. Can be used for any of the events, any of the gathering, be it small, be it large, flexible, can expand and contract with the evolution of the event, perhaps. So the ICS features as what exactly is all about it. Incident command system, organizations. How do we go now around? Let me take it to the next slide, where I'll give you the organizational, the uh, the chart ornogram altogether. Incident facilities, the action plan thereabout, the span of control, who is responsible for what kind of facilities, where would his or her responsibility end, what are the jurisdiction that we need to talk about it, the responsibility that comes around with it. So general ICS organization, so we have a top person in the command. Look, where is he? The command person is the fellow out here. What comes around? Operations, logistic, planning, intelligence, finance, and admin. Then there are some people who are into execution, who are into supply chain, who are into overall monitoring, and somebody would be there into administration and financing part of it. So these are the general ICS system that comes around it. A further detailed things have been given in the ornogram. We have the commander, incident commander, the information officer, the safety officer, the liaison officer. We have the operations section, which talks about branches, groups, divisions. We will be showing those branches, group, division in the subsequent slides. The team, the task force, and the single resources, as the case might be. In terms of planning intelligences, what do we talk about it? We are talking about the resources unit and how do we take into consideration, perhaps. So how do we go around here? That needs to be taken around the situation, the demobilization unit, the documentation unit, the logistics sections, service branches, personals, as the case might be. Then comes the administrations and the finance section, the time unit, the procurement unit, the compensation claim unit, and the cost unit per se. So yes, we talk about incident commander in charge at the incident, assigned by responsibilities of jurisdictions or agencies, may have one or more deputy incidents and commanders, as the case might be, may assign personnel for commanding staff and general staff. Command staff include liaison officers, safety officers, and information officer, as the case might be. So yes, we are talking about incident commander in charge at the incident, assigned by responsible jurisdictions or agencies, may have one or more deputy incident commanders, may assign personnel or command staff and general staff. Command staff include liaison officers, safety officers, and information officers, as been shown you out here. Information officers are the person who is going to manage the public opinion, manage the administration, give the relevant information, probably even ration out their information. Safety officers will ensure that there are least possible damages that has been caused not only to the property but also to the lives of the people. The liaison officers, the people who will get in touch with every one of them, ensure that there is a proper coordination among different sections of the thing. So what are the general stuff? We have the operation section, we have the planning section, the engineering section, the logistics section, and the administration or the finance section perhaps. These are the logistics stuff that comes around here. Talking about the operation section staff, what are their primary duties is all about it to manage operation section, to accomplish incident objectives, and probably to assign a role to a person, expected outcomes from a person perhaps, and that is what operation section chief would be looking into it, managing the operation, managing the section, achieving the objectives and assigning, giving people roles and responsibilities. Planning section would do nothing out but only probably collection, evaluation, disseminations of the information that has been coming out of the incident, the status of the resources. Responsible for creating an action plan is what the planning section would always talk about. They are into the execution part altogether. The logistics section chief would gives us the necessary support, gives us the necessary material resources from other places, other incidents where they have the least possible impact or no impact at all. Ensure that those incidents, those resources have been utilized optimally so that we all achieve our end objective. So what are they looking into it? They are looking to achieve the facilities, the services, the personal equipment, and the material thereby, and that is what we look forward. Finance section chiefs will be looking at nothing but only of money, probably no. How the money has been utilized, probably yes. How fast it has been enacted, probably yes. What are the ways that they can help to mitigate those incidents? So yes, we are talking about the time units, procurement unit, compensation and claim unit, cost unit per se is what comes under the purview of the finance section chiefs, as the case might be. So divisions, and I said that we will be showing it in the subsequent slide. So which all division looks very important or very pertinent? This one or this one? The incident which goes around it. If you divide an incident, probably yes, we have just divided an incident out here into place one, place B. But out here, it is much more prominent, and there are some people who is to be responsible out here altogether. Yes or no? And that needs to be taken into consideration, and that is what we love to divide it geographically, we divide it positionally, and probably resource according to the resources available out there. Groups, pools, specialized resources teams. The operation section would always go for a medical group, the search group, the security group per se, wherein the medical group is not searching for it, searching for casualties. The searching groups will search for the casualty and bring it to the disposal of the medical group, who is going to look so for all medical requirements of the casualties. Perhaps the security groups will ensure that the incident doesn't spread haywire. It should not go the things in a different direction. So every group has their own limitations and probably tasks defined. So geographical branches, let's say giving you branch one, branch two, and these are divisions that comes around it. Functional branches is medical, search and security, as the case might be. So there are two types of branches that I'm trying to establish among my audiences with respect to the span of control, with respect to the grouping, with respect to the division, maybe geographical, maybe functional, maybe what we are looking into it. So incident facilities are the command posts, are the staging areas, as on when on basis. Now, IAP or incident action plan can be written, can be oral, but will prefer if it is written in black and white. Include measurable, tactical objective, list of activated organization element, assignments to accomplish the objectives, supporting information. Inform all incident supervisory personnel, as the case might be. How do we come across with it? What needs to be done? Span of control is adequate span of control. A supervisor can only manage one, two, three, four, perhaps subordinates. But if you give him 50 subordinates, can he will be able to go around it? Be as effective? Probably not. That needs to be taken into consideration. So adequate span of control or adequate number of supervisors is required. So optimal span of control is 1 to 5 as the case might be, but not in cases of 50 subordinates. So common responsibilities of every incident personnel, what are expected out of them, what are the resources that has been meant given to them, receive assignment from your emergencies, bring any specialized supplies or equipment, follow check-in procedures, obtain briefing upon arrival as the case might be. That is what we look forward to as on when on basis. UCS is Unified Command System, multi-jurisdictional or multi-agency responses. Multi-agency command post established integrating the various agencies and jurisdiction. Unified Command System provides structures to the federal, state, local, on-scene coordinators to work effectively, efficiently during our responses as on when on basis. How do we come across uh, in life, in incident, in emergency, in disaster? Let us talk about hazmat or hazardous material or public health law enforcement or probably in terms of fire, what goes wrong. So unified command system, what does it goes around it? We need to plan for our operation. Yes, we need to plan everything to the finest detail. The logistic, the resources that needs to be consumed or made available, and the fast method of deploying those resources through admin or financing part of it. That is what unified command system. Remember, operation planning, logistic, they need to work in tandem, in coordination with one another. JIC or the Joint Information System established by lead federal agencies as a focal point where all your information are going to come around. It's a command center for coordination, for provisions of information to public, to media. It may be established in the same location as Joint Operation Centers, GOC, or located in on-scene location in coordination with the federal agencies, the provincial agencies, the local agencies, the state agency. Let's talk about a bioterrorism event. Coordinate with everyone is required to speak in one form, right from the provincial level to the local level to the federal level. How does it goes around it? The following elements should be represented in joint information system. Let's say uh, FBI or Federal Bureau of Investigations. What do we go around it? They should be giving me the public information system as the case might be. So FBI tells everything what needs to be done. Then we have FEMA, the FEMA might be Foreign Exchange Management Act, perhaps. If we want to go around it, what needs to be done? Public information, other federal agencies, public information officers, other federal agencies might be the medical officer. Let's say we just had coronavirus, the pandemic coming around it, where the medical emergencies become the focal point. State and the local public information officers in bioterrorism things, everybody needs to coordinate with one another. The organization structures to implement the federal responses field during a terrorist incident established by FBI under the operational control of Federal On-Scene Commander, established to ensure inter-incident coordinations and organization, multiple agencies, jurisdictions within an overall command and coordination structures perhaps. And that is what we look forward to. And how do we go around as the case might be? Joint operation centers act as a focal point for strategic management and directions of on-site activities, identification of the state and the local requirement priorities, coordination of federal responses. Local FBI field officers will activate a crisis management team to establish the joint operation centers perhaps. Now these can be on-site, off-site activities which has to be identified by the state and the local government depending upon their coordination priorities, how the responses would be all about it. So joint operation centers will essentially have command centers, operational centers, administration centers or logistics centers, and the consequences management or the public image. So representation with joint operation centers from both federal, provincial, local, state, with everybody defined with their own roles and responsibilities during the times of crisis, during the times of disaster, during the times of managing the public opinion. Let's say uh, joint operation system will play a significant role in coordination with every other responsive agencies. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this presentation till the very end.